Tulip, welcome to Crafting with Erica. On today's episode, we're going to make this pretty little thing, paper tulip. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, ring the bell to get notifications, and let's get started. So there's quite a few things you're going to need to make a paper tulip. You're going to need some crepe paper, which you can buy online at a few places. There's an Italian place that I buy mine from. There's a couple of American retailers that import the things in from Italy. And you're going to need hot glue gun, some hot glue sticks, some type of mat so that you're not ruining your surface, a pair of scissors, 18 gauge wire. Alright, here are the random things. You're going to need one single chopstick. I know, kind of random. And you're going to need some aquarium tubing. Once again, a little random. But you're going to see what you're going to need them for soon. I sell a kit on my website. The kit will include all these supplies, including illustrated instructions of how to create the tulip. I think it's really helpful. And you won't have to go out and buy all these individual things, which sometimes would be more expensive than just buying the kit all ready made for you. Let's get started. First thing you're going to need to do is grab your yellow paper, because we're going to make the center first. So you're going to make this little center section right here. And then you're going to make the petals out of this pink paper, and you're going to make the leaves out of this green paper. Once we get all of our pieces cut out, then we're going to assemble. In the meantime, you should probably plug in your hot glue gun so that it's nice and ready for you when you need it. So let me clear off my station a little. It's a little crowded over here. And let's get started. So, first things first, we're going to cut out a little teeny tiny strip of yellow paper. About yay big. Now we're done with the yellow paper, we can toss it away. So you're going to take your yellow paper, you're going to stretch the very edge of it, like so. Be sure to cut with your grain running vertically, and then you're going to make 4 nice slices. You're going to leave roughly about a 1/4 inch at the bottom, and you're going to end up with this little item. So for this, you will twist each little part. So let's start twisting. Now we got this cute little item. This is going to be our center. We're going to put it off to the side. Now onto the petals part. The petals I find to be the most fun portion of creating the tulip because you get to do some nice bending. Each tulip gets 6 petals. So let's start cutting. You can make your tulip any color you want. I'm making it pink because that's what my reference is. However, I am a big fan of orange tulips. I think they're really pretty. One fun thing about paper flowers is you can make them whatever color you want. They never die. They look good for years. And if you have someone who has like a compromised immune system, it's perfect for them because sometimes they can't have real flowers. So try to make a paper flower. It's fun. Now we have this really long strip of pink paper. I suggest you fold it a few times to make your process the most efficient as possible. And if you have my template, you should place the template directly on top. I'm going to freehand it because I've made it a few times. Be sure your grain is running the correct direction. It should be running up and down like this. And there's all of your petals you're going to need. Now we no longer need our pink paper. So we're going to throw that to hang out with the yellow paper. Pull this aside. We got 6 petals. Now on to shaping. What you're going to do is you're going to take both of your thumbs towards the base of the flower, right where you want the curve to start, and you're going to take them and you're going to slightly push in and out, just like that. And you're going to get a cup shape. You're going to do it again a little closer to the top. Try not to go all the way to the edge because that's where our chopstick's going to come in. So don't go all the way to the edge. You're going to end up with a cute little cup shape like this. So I'm going to do that for all of my petals. Push in, pull out, push in, pull out. Nice cup. Remember that random item I told you to get in the beginning? This is where it comes in. You could also probably use a pencil if you don't have random chopsticks hanging around your house. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your chopstick, place it directly behind the petal, and you're going to take the edge and curve it on top of it and slightly pull. And you're going to end up with a nice curved edge, just like that. Do it again. Nice curved edge. So now we have our tulip petal. We're going to do that for all of the petals. Now we're going to make the green leaf portion of our tulip, including the tape that goes along the stem. I personally do not use florist tape. It's a personal preference for me. It has a tendency to leave a sticky residue, which I'm not the biggest fan of, and I wouldn't want my customers to get flowers with sticky residue. So I make my own tape, and this also ensures that your leaves are the exact same color as your stem if you make your own tape. So I encourage you to make your own tape and not to use florist tape for these types of things. First, we're going to cut out the florist tape, our DIY florist tape, that is. We're just going to make some strips. The strips are roughly about a 1/4 inch, maybe a 1/2 inch. No bigger than a 1/2 inch. So we got some tape. Like I said before, I've made tulips so often that I don't need a template. However, if you are making this, I encourage you to use a template just to ensure that everything looks uniform and that you're not wasting paper. Now we're done with the green paper. Throw it to the side. And let's start cutting out our leaves. I folded the paper and now I'm cutting it into a nice big leaf shape. Ooh. No one saw that. So, for this, your scissors can be used to help curve your leaves. It's a little trick I found out on YouTube from someone else. So you take your scissors, of course, make sure that they're closed, and you bend them a little and you run them along, and you're going to end up with a nice curved shape. Just like that. So now you have 2 leaves. Now on to the fun part. Not that that wasn't fun. That was fun too. But this is where the magic happens. This is where you start to assemble. First, you're going to start with this little center here. Take some hot glue, a few dabs. You don't need a fancy hot glue gun. Any hot glue gun will work. Now you take your 18 gauge wire and you wrap it around. Hold for a few seconds to make sure it's secure. Spread these little suckers out a little. Should be good. If you use a tacky glue, just hold it a little longer. You may want to squirt the tacky glue out onto a side little piece of paper to make it a little tackier so that it adheres quicker. Next thing you're going to do is the center of the tulip has 3 petals, and then the exterior has 3 petals. So you're going to want to put a little glue at the base and start putting your petals on. Now we have the center. Really beautiful. So for the next step is we're going to put our exterior tulips on. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place them so that this lays on top of where the other 2 meet. So it's slightly alternating. So you're not going to, don't place it like this, place it like this. So they're right in between each other. It's a bit more aesthetically pleasing and a little more realistic to what an actual tulip looks like. Place glue here. Again, if you're using a tacky glue, you're just going to have to hold a little longer. No worries. If it's a kid making it, I suggest you use a tacky glue and not a hot glue gun, so you don't want to burn their little fingers. Oh no, where did I not put a petal? Oh, here it is. I couldn't find my empty gap. What? We have a tulip. Yay! Alright, we got a tulip. Looks cute. Usually when I make a flower, I would turn it upside down and just take a little bit of glue and put it at the very base of the flower. I do this just to double, triple ensure that the flower doesn't come off of the stem. You don't want your flower to be popping off when you're trying to put the leaves on, or when you're sending it to someone, you don't want the flower to pop off. So just take it, put a little dab of glue down there, and then put it aside for a couple minutes just to make sure that it's nice and dry before you do anything else to it. In the meantime, the most random supplies in the world is aquarium tubing. I know it's random. You could probably also just use a ton of layers of crepe paper to wrap it around to make the stem a little thicker, but I find that aquarium tubing works the best, and it also gives the stem a little bit of a soft edge, which kind of reminds you a little bit of like a flower stem. So you are going to take the aquarium tubing, put it into the tulip, just like so. Just like so. And cut it off. We are now done with your aquarium tubing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your crepe paper strip and you're going to stretch it out. So you're making the tape, just like this. You're going to take a little bit of glue, put it on the tape, and you're going to start at the top of the flower. And you're going to slowly start wrapping. Wrap the complete center all the way around first. Secure it, make sure it's there. And then you're going to take your tape and you're going to start going in a downward motion. You're going to work your way completely down the stem. This takes a little bit of practice. Usually your first couple times it's not as easy, but once you do it 1 or 2 times, usually it's a lot easier and it should go pretty fast. Take a little bit of glue, put it on the stem, wrap over, and while you're twisting the stem, you're pulling onto this and you're slowly wrapping it down. Put a little bit more glue here. If you are using a tacky glue, I suggest you put the glue on the actual strip and not on the stem. It will help speed it along a little faster if you put the glue there at first. But since we're using hot glue, you don't have to do that. Cut off the little paper. We have a tulip. A cut out a lot more of these than I actually needed, but that's fine. That'll be for my next flower. We have our leaves. Take your leaf, put a little dab of glue at the very base of it, place it roughly about 3-4 inches from the top of your flower. Place your other stem on your other side. And then sometimes I just like to go in here and trim up your flower a little. Sometimes there might be a little bit of rough edges. So I'll just go in here and trim the rough edges to make sure that it is perfect. It's beautiful! Nice and twirly. So if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, or ring that bell to get notifications on your next video, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to make. Get some inspiration, go onto my Little Paper Flowers account on Instagram or Facebook and see what other kind of flowers I make, and comment below. Thank you!